Welcome to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. As you all know, I have the famous James here as we talking about good to eat. Like what are some good foods that you like to hear? What are some good things that you like to go and taste? What is your favorite meal or just a great snack? Well, I have a foodie here who goes beyond, who looks for the most wackiest things. Of course, you need to check out his IG, of course, his social media. You will see so many great things that he's putting forth. So I'm so excited to have him on. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, James, as we talk about how he got into becoming a foodie as well as an influencer. And how is he tackling life with doing all of this and not gain any weight or probably just gain 8 pounds? Let's see. After these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, James. Cute in the gym. Well, these cute workout sets are the bomb. Make sure that you hit the PayPal QR code and so that you can find out more about these cute sets and so much more. Let's get to working out. Yes. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. So I'm going to bring my guest, James, on up. Hey, Brother Jay, how are you, sir? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. God is good. Thank you for having me today.
Of
Appreciate you.
course. So let's jump right on in. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself and what do you do? And then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
Perfect. So, my name is James. I'm from the city of Maryland. Currently live in Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm a cybersecurity student, and I am a cybersecurity student. What else? I love to cook. I love to cook, and also I do food content. So, yes, I do food content.
Wow,
That's what
wow.
most people really know me for now. Yeah, food content. Yeah,
Yes, the food content. Of course, that's what draw
that's what
me
everybody.
here. And of course, if you all check out the title, of course, I call it Wild Wonky, because it's not
Oh,
just
wow.
like your typical food that you see. It's very
Yeah.
decorative, very plated very well. So it's like give you
Right.
this Willy Wonka back chocolate factory idea.
You see?
So I know I don't
Yeah.
want to get ahead of myself, but
Yes.
how did you get into
No,
food?
no.
What is it about becoming a foodie? And how did it become part of your life to become an influencer in that food department?
So what it really was okay. So I started working at the age of I'm 20. I'm about to be 22 Christmas Eve. Let's see. Okay, when I was 16. So I started working at 16, and ever since I had started working, it's like of course you have more money to go out and eat more than just the fast service or quick service restaurants. Like I remember I used to growing up, the my favorite thing ever was Chipotle. I used to rave about Chipotle. Oh, this is what I get in my bowl, and it was so crazy to the point where I was going to Chipotle so frequently to the point where I think like in third grade that like I was like actually I think I was like obese. Like I'm kidding. Like when I tell you that Chipotle was like that was my thing. Like I used to rave about it, dream about it like Chipotle. I mean, back then, Chipotle was, back when it was, 7.25 and
Yeah,
when it was
yeah.
actually good, everything. So yeah, but then like when I got a little bit older, I want to say summer about to enter into junior year. Yeah, I got work. My first job was IHOP. So I remember I worked there during the week, what was it, weekends or Saturdays, and wasn't during the week. So I would just save up all my money and I would also get money and tips from being like a host. So then I would just use that money to go out and eat. And
Mm,
yeah, and like when you as you get older and you try different places, it's like you expand your palate and you're open to like a whole bunch of new stuff. Yeah, but I would start with like little local restaurants around me, like Italian restaurants. But then like as I want to say like a little bit, so pretty much I sort of kind of would just eat like pretty local. Like I didn't really start going out like far like Virginia and all that really like until I want to say it was really like I started really like exploring and going out and like trying like a lot of different restaurants. I want to say like mid 2023. That's when I really just started just because social media obviously I feel like 2023 was the year where food influencing really was becoming like a major thing. I know that 2022 it was sort of kind of there, but I feel like 2023 was the year that like influencers were really like, and that was like becoming, and then Keith Lee, like so many
yeah.
different things. But I think that 2023, I feel like that was the year. You know what I mean? So, but prior to that, I was just trying out different local spots. And like I said, as you get older, you expand your taste palette, and you want to try
Yeah.
different things. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, really what it was, yeah, I would get paid. When I worked at IHOP, and I would go to little places. Then like after that, I want to say maybe like when I was about, I really want to say 2023 because up until 2023, I was just, pretty much, going to like local places and stuff like that. But I want to say 2023, the good thing with being a foodie is I didn't just it's crazy I'm actually calling myself that now, but like in the beginning I was like, am I there yet? You know? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. But so 2023, this was before I started really I did some stuff in 2022. Like I remember there's a restaurant very close to me here in Montgomery County called the Breakfast Club. And this was back when I used to really use TikTok. I don't really use it anymore, but I remember when I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called the Breakfast Club. They're like an all day brunch spot here in
Yeah.
Silver Spring, Maryland. Yeah, they're an all day brunch spot here in Silver Spring, Maryland. So when they were under construction, I'm like, wait, they're an all day brunch spot on weekdays. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to be the first person who's gonna have to review that. Like that's crazy. So I'm like, but they took a little while to open up. But I remember like 2022 and 2022 had just started. I'm like, I live so close. There's like no excuse. I have to like go out there
Yeah.
and try it out. But what I did was the week that they had opened, I went on the 20. I remember I went on the 28th of December. I remember I went like the last few days of 2022. Like I went. I was gonna initially go there for my 20th birthday, but I was gonna go to South House Garden, another restaurant that was in Montgomery County. I think yeah, Gaithersburg. So I ended up going there like with some. Or I think I actually no, I went by myself. I went by myself, just tried it out. Very very good. I had made a video, and it's crazy. I made a video, mind you. I'm not even in content 2022. I just did a video. Just did it. I put it together. Oh my gosh, it's the way how I edit it. But I mean, it's growth, But I remember, and I did it. I did it in a pretty nice, sort of kind of nice way. No, no fancy editing apps. I just sort of kind of put it
Yeah.
all together. I post the video at like 9 p.m. because I come back home and I take a nap. This is like I want to say too, like the food was so good it put me to sleep. I come back home, I take a nap, I wake up, and I had posted the video before I went to sleep. I wake up and it only has 2 likes. So that's when I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, mind you, I'm not really into content. I just did this video for fun, just because at that time, I feel like before 2023, I just feel like that was like the era where if you use the right hashtags for TikTok, anything will blow up. Considering the fact that it's a new restaurant, like it's
Yeah.
a new black-owned restaurant, all day brunch. I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna take off. So I post it, go to sleep, I wake back up, it has like 2 likes. I'm like, then I really go to sleep, and it's the next day I'm at work. Then I just get all these notifications, and I'm like, that's when I opened it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it had like 2,000. I think it was like two. It blew up overnight, and then like it
Yeah.
had like 100. Like by the end of the week, going into 2023, it had like 100,000 views,
Mm.
and then like that like last day of 2022, two like actual legitimate like real foodies from the Maryland area who were very big who ended up going. I don't remember who, but because I ended up actually archiving everything off of my TikTok page, try to use it again. Still,
Yeah.
but then like the algorithm is tricky. So, but that's another story for another day. Or I might talk about that a little bit later. But to archive the video, but like two other influencers had came, and one of their people who works in or one of the consultants who works there, I had actually came back to do an official content collab with them. I think it was July that I actually came back like to do an official one, not one that like I'm going in and I'm paying for my food and I'm just doing it out of you know as a
Right.
hobby or like for fun. Like it was a legitimate, I spoke to the marketing woman, I got in there, I did my actual, my content, and he's like, we have to really, really respect you because and the thing was, I used to have a little bit of like a curly fade, so I assumed that maybe he didn't remember me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
but like I now have like a lower cut, so I'm like maybe he doesn't remember me. But he's like, after you posted your video, he told me he was like, and I knew it because of what I saw that other content or at that
Right.
time I wasn't a content, but people who were actual content creators ended up going out and then like their post ended up doing good. He was like, after you posted your video, like after you did that, because he remembered meeting me. He was like, after you did that video, like so many other content creators that came to try out the restaurant, and then like from there, it was just endless traffic. So I was
Mm.
like, wow, he actually remembered me. I was like, wow. So okay, well, that was something where it was like, okay, well, I see that I have like a little bit of an influence. But to be honest, at that time, I wasn't content. It was at that point, I was just doing it for fun. Like I didn't really care if my edits looked clean or if
Yeah.
they, if anything blew up. I was just doing it for fun. It wasn't really anything serious. But it became serious. I want to say, oh yeah. So actually, to be very honest with you, the only reason why I started Instagram was because I did not like how TikTok's privacy settings worked.
Okay.
It's a little because you know how TikTok pretty much works. So even if you delete somebody from your contacts or if you get rid of them, like if they have your contact, they sort of kind of still come back and find your account. I don't know if you know, like that's how, like if they have your number, like they're linked or they'll
Yeah.
show up in your profile views. And, when you start to see, family and people you totally forgot about in your profile views, you're like, oh, yikes. So that's when I saw, that's when I was like, oh, let me just move this to Instagram. So
Yeah.
it was literally one evening I was getting off work and I'm like, why do all these people still have my phone number? You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah.
that's when I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm just gonna move it to Instagram. So I moved it. This was so random. I was not expecting this. It was so random. I moved it to Instagram. so I moved into Instagram, and I was just, experimenting, but I really had my first big hit. I want to say, oh, I remember my first big hit was in, well, no, not the biggest, but the first one that really it began a trend was for a dessert shop in Bowie, Maryland.
Okay.
It's called the Dessert Junkie. So
Mm.
they do a lot of crazy desserts, uh, banana pudding, funnel cake, uh, banana pudding ice cream, strawberry crunch cheesecake, milkshake. They do a lot of over the top desserts. So
Yeah.
I had actually, and the funny thing was, I had actually went to them back in 2023 when I wasn't really in content yet, still not in
Okay.
content, just going to places. And that, oh, actually, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So what it was I took a good year, mind you, but I was doing this not really to prep myself to become a foodie. It was just more, I just, when you do your research and you find a lot of these hidden gems, I just wanted to try them out for myself. And another thing was a lot of my friends were like, "Oh no, you have to make a food page," because I was sort of kind of getting tired of people. Oh, where is this place? Where is that? Like, we
Yeah.
live in Maryland. Like, what's that? I never heard about that. Like, where did you find that? You know what I mean? So what it was I want to say I used pretty much all of 2023. And so the way how it worked for me was and I would do it really, I want to say, so if I had time during the week, I would go out, but typically like my eat out day was always Friday. Every Friday, I would go
Hmm.
to a restaurant. Like that'd be like a reward to myself. So just every Friday, go to a restaurant, or whether if it's a restaurant, dessert shop, food business, or would just go, our food truck, just every Friday. So I did
Yeah.
that all of 2023. So every Friday, 2023, that was just something that I did. Um, yeah, and then I really started to travel and like go out down to Virginia a lot and like go above and beyond and like go to all these different places. I want to say more towards the ending of 2023. Like I think I believe I went down to like Old Town Alexandria, Virginia a lot. Like I know Alexandria, Virginia in and out. Like that's how often I was going down there. Yeah, just for the food. It's good to get out of Maryland and see other parts of like the DMV and so yeah. So but I took a good year to do that. I was going to like so all of 2023 was just not. And mind you, this was not me planning. I want to go out to different restaurants and see how the food is so that later I can become a foodie. This was just something that I just was just doing. And then the idea really came because what really sparked the idea of really, okay, so to be honest, what it was really, it wasn't really planned. So what it was I was moving TikTok, uh, my TikTok for fun content, or my TikTok hobby content or food content, just to my Instagram page because I was just tired of it. So it wasn't
Right.
really like I actually planned for this. Okay, well, the first 6 months I'm gonna reach out to these, and I didn't even know how to reach out to people yet. I was just putting food content on my page just because
Yeah.
it was like it was a hobby. You know what I mean? So in the beginning of this year, it was not really a goal to become a foodie, like an actual foodie. I didn't even know how collabs even worked. I didn't even watch any YouTube videos. This was just something that um just what it really was the way how I was capturing my videos. Mind you, despite the fact that I really don't have any like I don't have any equipment, but yeah, it's just the way how I was shooting my videos and like the way how I was editing them. And also another thing that I do is with my videos, I don't talk in my videos. So what I do is I have music that plays over my videos.
Yeah.
So for me,
Yeah.
I see that in a way where if I put somebody's song over my video, then their song gets promo. So it's like, I'm helping them, um, advertise their song. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what I do
Well,
because
I
there are,
mean,
yeah,
that
yeah,
is a mouthful, right? Because
yeah,
clearly every human being has
yeah,
to eat in order to live, right? But people don't have an eye how to set it up, how to make the aesthetics look
Mhm.
good, or even to
Yeah,
even form their palate, to even know the texture, the taste, the difference,
yeah,
to really give it like an honest review, right? Because you eat a
exactly.
hamburger, I
Mhm.
eat a hamburger. It may be different, right? The taste is different, the texture. So a lot of people cannot explain that. So now that,
Mhm.
and you said quite a few where you just kind of just stumble
Mhm.
upon it, right? You just kind of just
Mhm.
did your thing before you started to formalize. Now,
Yeah,
here we are. When did you
yeah.
start to say, okay, now I can see I can monetize off of this? Or now I need to really make my aesthetics clean and I need to really draw in individuals and now have companies reach out to me. When did that spark and when did that spark? And then two, how did you
Mhm.
start to formulate your page by capturing the picture, making sure that it's eye catching and worthy to like, hey, stop, pause, look at my page, and I really want you to notice that there's some great food in your neighborhood.
Yes. So how that started was I got my first ever official collab, like it's with Negril. I think it was Negril Erie. In
Okay.
April, they had reached out to me and then they had asked me. They were like, "Hey," they're like, and I, for those of you guys who don't know who or what Negril Erie is, it's a Jamaican, Caribbean cuisine restaurant. Like
Mhm.
they have, the beef patties, the rice and peas, the jerk chicken, and they're pretty much like a DMV. Like they're like a very well known DMV staple for Caribbean food. So they were the first people who ever like actually like reached out to me like, "Hey, this is the credit. We're gonna give you this much, or this is the budget. We'll give you this much, whatever you want, and just make a video for us." And I was like, "Whoa!" That was like because mind you, I had content on my page, but it was this is the difference. I had content on my page, but they were videos of me like where I was spending money on
Mhm.
the food. So it wasn't, but mind you, the thing was, it's not like they were asking me like, "Hey, could you come in and buy some of our food?" It was just me doing it out of my free will. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah. So but for that, yeah. So then but mind you, also that's a good thing. The good thing with this is there's tons of videos online like that will educate you on how to become a foodie and all that. But for me, I was just like, "Hey, I'm just trying to eat out. It's Friday. I just want
Yeah,
to do some stuff
yeah,
that'll help grow
yeah.
my page." But yeah, so I had a whole bunch of videos that were already up on my page just out of me going out and buying food. You know what I mean? But I'll get back to that like towards the end for tips that I could give, because really you're not supposed you don't free promo is not like, it should sort of kind of be like an in kind, like you do this for me, I do this for you. But I'm gonna
Correct.
get back to that later on. But yeah, so I had already had like so much content on my page of me, going out and buying food. So then they had reached out to me. We set up the collab. Beer did pretty good, and I think at that time I had only had about, this is what, April. I think I had probably about maybe I probably had about like hmm, April. I probably had about like what, 4,000 followers, like
Mm,
4,000.
yeah.
Yeah, I had about like 4,000 followers, and then little did I know I would end up hitting 10K the first week of May. So it was
Mm,
literally like a humongous jump. It was
right,
crazy.
right.
It was like, wow. I remember I went through my archive actually recently. I actually had like a old memory from like April of thank you guys for 4K, and then I'm like 2.5 weeks later, what, 10K? I'm like, what? It's
Yeah.
crazy, but yeah. So that was the official collab. It went pretty good. So they had reached out to me. They had told me the credit, how that was gonna go. We did the video. Video did great. So that was the first one. But what I took from that was, well, what I will say was after that had happened, I still didn't actually reach out to companies just yet, because I
Okay.
still wasn't. Yeah, yeah, I was still in that phase of just just going out on my own and just trying places out. It
Yeah.
didn't really take off. I want to say it really began to take off. Companies finding me. Let me think. Okay. Well, actually, I want to say May. I remember it was like May. I went to two spots in one day. They had reached out to me, told me the credit. Some of them didn't even give me a credit. They were just like, just come on in and like we'll give you whatever you want. Just do a video for us in exchange. And yeah, so I want to say, but the first moment, or like the first collab, like an actual legitimate collab that I had was, I want to say, April, and I had started in February. So yeah. But I didn't really actually get into doing it where it's an actual collab, like on on both sides. I want to say maybe until June. Like I want to
Okay.
say like right when summer was about it, like when summer was just right when summer was about to start. New businesses are coming in, and the weather's getting hot. And mind you, I think if you look on my page, you see like like a lot of dessert
Mhm.
posts or sweet spots. So of course
Yeah.
with that, perfect for the weather. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I want to say it was really, I want to say like it really just, I want to, if I could give a time frame, I would say it really all took off. Like I started getting message requests from different companies, business owners. I want to say like the beginning of summer. If I could be like very, very specific. It was really summer. Like June, I remember June was the month where I was going to like I remember almost everything, because what I do for myself on my personal pages, I'll do a collage of like, this is even what I did from way before I even started content. I'll do like a collage of all the restaurants that I went to that month. And
You're
then for
right.
June, I remember almost literally everything that I took a picture of that I put in that collage was all from just collabs. So really it was summertime, yeah. I would say it was summertime. Yeah, it
That
was
is
summertime.
amazing. I mean, truly, that
Yeah.
is truly amazing
Yeah.
because as much as like
Yeah.
I stated, we have to eat in order to survive, right? But a
Yeah.
lot of people think they can become foodie, but really don't know the art of it, or don't
Hmm.
have yet to understand the art. So after these
Yeah.
messages, James, we're gonna come right back because we would like to know what is the next step, and what is his
Hmm.
favorite food, and what is some things that he's going to launch from here. So after these messages, we're going to
Yeah.
continue to talk to my guest, James. We'll be right back. An engaged audience? Have no fear. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us, and we surely look forward to hear from you. welcome to Coffee with Joy. So excited. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy across all social media, as well as our podcast. So I have my guest James here. We're going to continue to talk to my guest as we talk about foodie. So before we went to break, what is your favorite
Mhm.
food? Because I know as a foodie, there has to be something that you delight in, something that you gravitate to. It's like your comfort food. So, what is your favorite food and why?
So for me, I'm from okay. So I did say that I'm from Maryland, but so I'm African from Tanzania. My
Mhm.
parents are from Tanzania, so I'm African. But I like a lot of. I have to be very honest. I do like. Hmm. Dang. What can I? If I'm going to be very honest, like in my well, actually, in my top three, I would say. Mm, okay, my top three, I would say Caribbean food, soul food. Let's see, Caribbean food, soul food, and I would probably say Mexican food. Mexican, yeah.
Mm,
I'd probably say
okay.
Mexican food. Yeah, those are like my top. But if I had to pick one,
Yeah.
mm, being very honest, if I had to probably pick one, I'd probably pick soul food. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably
Soul
pick soul
food
food.
is for the
Yeah,
win.
I'm big
Yes.
on soul
Soul
food.
food is for the win.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So
and I
now,
can
like,
cook soul food too. Yeah,
and
I
that
cook
just
too.
goes,
Yeah.
and that segues into the next thing. You stated that you love to cook. So,
Oh yeah.
what do you see yourself when you cooking, and then when you go out? What is the clash? What do you find that hey, I could make this, but some companies they make it. Do you have like a taste, or is there like some type of discrepancy where you fall in like they could have probably added more seasoned salt here or more Larry? I don't know the particular names for seasons, but you know the various thyme, olive, or whatever it needs to be. Do you find yourself critiquing the stuff you cook or the stuff that you eat when you go out?
Yeah, I have to be honest. Yeah, it's happened. Like I remember I've had I mean, of course, let me name a classic that's easily messed up. Of course, mac and cheese, yeah. Like for me, I know that mac and cheese, like for me,
The
let me
infamous mac
see,
and cheese.
right? Because it's crazy because it's like I'm 22. I've been making mac and cheese since I've been making mac and cheese since I was like about maybe, I think I was like when I had just turned 9, or either
Okay.
that or I was 8. But yeah, I've been making mac and cheese for well over 10 years, many
Mhm.
different recipes. But one thing with mac and cheese, it's like you can't, number one, you can't overcook the noodle, right? Another thing
Right.
is, you don't want it to be, now the thing is, it depends on the type that you like. So there's some where I'm in a mood for one that's, less creamy, the old fashioned, more, more on like the drier side. And then there's
Mhm.
some that are, more creamy. And then like you might go to a restaurant and like they have it, but it's more on the soupy side, or it's not baked. And I've had some that aren't baked and they're stovetop, but they're actually very rich. They use
Yeah.
some aged cheese in there. Like, they use enough well, not really too big on the seasoning, but they use like even if they're not too big on the seasoning, like they use high quality ingredients that will, help with the flavor, like whether that's aged cheese or, adding in, like a little bit of some mustard or, something that will, give you that like that balance, versus it just being one cheddar or it's just cheese and pasta. Like there's no flavor, no black pepper, which is crazy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, but yeah. So I would say probably like mac and cheese. What's it? I've had some bad candied yams, like candied yams that were hard. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I've had some candied yams that were like they were hard. Yeah, I was like, ooh man, yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
So yeah, I've
again,
had
because
some
you're
bad.
in that realm, so you're tasting it, and
Yeah,
I know your the
yeah,
internal is like really describing and giving full detail, like, oh, they should have
yeah.
added this, they should add that, because then your palate becomes more defined, right? It's
More
almost like a
defined.
jewel.
Yeah,
Someone who could look at a ring
yeah,
and say, "Oh yeah, that's not real," and you're like, "Well, it looks fabulous, it's real."
yeah,
But your taste has been shaped where you're
yeah.
able to really identify those different tastes from now that you
Exactly,
are a chef slash chef
exactly.
cook, yeah, cooker, chef.
Cook.
Because I feel as though someone
I'm
who's
a lot of
chef,
things.
yeah, you like a chef could
Yeah,
throw down, right? So it's like
yeah.
cooker, it's like, oh yeah, you
Hmm.
cook, but you're not a
Oh
chef is
yeah.
someone who actually like take measurements and really dive into it. They're
Hmm.
on their way to home, Food Network. That's what I consider like
Exactly.
a chef,
Right.
right?
Yeah, and the
But
funny thing is, that's what people want me to get into. That's the craziest part. Like people
wow.
really want me to. They want me to really become like a chef. It's crazy because people really want me to be in food. Because and actually, the funny thing. Oh, this is actually I have to actually put this in the video. It's actually very important. The Good Eats with James, that username was actually. So this is the thing. I used to have that. Well, it's not the same page. I had the same exact username back in high school when I was a senior. I want to say 2021 in high school. So it was actually an account where I would actually like sell food from like my house, like during senior year. So I had my job, left IHOP, had another job, was working, And then it was actually like, so because my older sister, she had so many friends who had tried my food, so they would come over, they would ask me for a pan of mac and cheese, a pan of rasta pasta,
Mm.
uh, banana pudding, all this like they would, and I'd make it and I'd post it all on my page. So actually, Goodies with James, that name actually is just a recycled name from a page from 2020 or that I deleted in 2022, and
Okay.
I just used the same username for now my food content. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Yeah, so I used to showcase everything on there. Like I would have the behind the scenes of everything, me making stuff. So yeah, but yeah, people want me to be in. Well, people want me to go into that career path of like actually cooking. So
So do
it's
you see
crazy. Yeah,
yourself like in the
it's very
next
very crazy.
5 years? Do you see yourself in the next 5 years doing that outside of what you're in school for now?
Uh, the thing is, it could happen. It could actually happen because I want to say the only reason why I'm saying it could happen because the thing is you really don't know, and you don't know what. And the thing, another thing is you don't, and that's the cool thing with being a food. You get to meet chefs or also, business owners and ask them questions like how did you get started in this, or
Yeah.
what were some challenges and how did you open your business? Did you start from home or you ask a lot of questions, and that's the cool thing. You get to meet a lot of people, network, and actually these are questions that you could ask them like literally apply to your life. So that's a very good thing this year that I've said that I can say is that has been very very beneficial meeting new people and, or business owners and asking them questions because it my mindset was, oh, if you start a food business, then well, it's going to take time and you have to go to school for business. And come to find out, like a lot of these business owners that I met didn't even some didn't even go to school and have
Okay.
thriving businesses. They didn't go to school, but they had to, of course, trial and error. They had to make a few
Yeah.
mistakes and then, they're fine. But a lot of these business owners didn't even go to school. So, but for me, I would say I don't know because I don't know.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would hope so because the thing is, it's a talent. The thing is, it's a very good talent. I've been cooking since I
Yeah.
was since I was like 8. So yeah, it's a very very good talent. Like I do red velvet. I do red velvet French toast. I do Caribbean. What is this? This Thanksgiving for Black Friday, I did red velvet French toast. I did some jerk lamb chops. I did mumbo shrimp
Wow.
deviled eggs. I do a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. If I was to post my food in my page too, like, wait, is this a food page? Like, where can I buy something
Yeah.
from here? Yeah, but but
I
yeah,
mean, you
I do a
should
lot of
try
crazy
it. I
stuff.
mean,
Yeah.
hey, and like you
I
say,
should
it
try
takes
it.
time,
Yeah,
right? But of course, it's
it
like
takes
a
a lot of
sneak
time.
peek.
Yeah,
You go out little by little, and you might say, "Hey, every
little
Sunday,
by little.
hey, try something to eat." I don't know. I'm just a
Yeah,
planner. Hey, in order to eat a whole plate of food, it
yeah,
starts with the bite. So, in order to
right.
get that done, and that's just life. In order to see something come to fruition, you got to do a
Yeah,
small piece. So that means, hey,
small
even
piece.
if you say, "Hey, I'm making 2 items," I like for you all to try it, taste it. That opens up a
Yeah,
door. You never know. Hey, I try my best to be a strategist.
yeah,
Marketing.
yeah.
I'm an educator, but I'm into the strategist marketing because that's how
Strategist.
you have to have a plan in order. If you see that, you know what I mean? If you see that in your future as to, okay, this may be another door that I could get into. How can I move over? How can I open this
Hmm.
door up? Or start
Yeah,
chiseling at this wall to start making a future for me. So, you know,
exactly.
I know going to school, doing it, being an influencer, and just living life,
Hmm.
it takes a lot. So what keeps James going? What
Yeah.
affirmation, what prayer, what keeps James going along this route?
So for me, I would say for the multi or not multitasking, but for the scheduling, like being a student, um, doing this, then also working. So one thing that I would say is organization, which I still am working on. But the main thing is if you're organized, you will be way less stressed. Like I'm telling you, like even down to when I say organized, I mean I'm even talking down to editing. Like for example,
Yeah,
one thing that I've learned as my editing skills and how I take videos has gotten better is like
yeah,
whenever I'm out, like for today's a perfect example. I just did a video for this one Caribbean shop in Silver Spring, Maryland. I just did a video for them, and this was my part two. I had already done a video for them back in September, so this is actually my part two. So I was asked to come back. So in that the first video did pretty good. So he's like, "Hey man, like can you come by again?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? You're very close to me, so why not?" So one thing that I'm doing way differently, I can say that I've grown from September to now is when I record videos, try to not necessarily try to figure out which clips make the cut. Because yeah, try to figure out which clips make the cut and try not to take too many videos. You know what I mean? Try to like do it
yeah,
in a way where you can go through it in the moment, say, okay, I like this, I don't like this, and delete it. Versus you do
right.
all these different. Like I remember there was like if this was like what 4 months ago, I probably would have had 40 different videos that I'd have to just be going through, because that used to be the long part with editing. You're
Yeah.
going through all these videos trying to figure out what you want, what you don't want. Then you have to edit the videos, edit the lighting. Then you have to put them all together, probably reclip them if there's a part in it that you don't want. So yeah, the number one thing that I can say that I've learned is with in terms of like how I film, organization is just figuring out which clips I want rather than
Right.
like just dragging the editing. Oh, I'm going to edit today. I'm going to do when come to find out, really editing videos depend. Now for me, I don't really talk in my videos versus some people who do, voiceovers who speak in their videos versus with them, they can just showcase the food. But if I'm not in my videos, I'm going to make sure that I get a lot of shots versus somebody who's speaking in their videos. They show their face, they speak because they don't want to probably speak on camera, then like have to do voiceovers with them speaking. So with me, like I don't really speak. I do. It's my videos are more content,
Yeah.
content type, videos. So for me, I just try to make sure that which if it's content and you're promoting a restaurant, you want to make sure you have the best video. So something that I do, like I said, just try to find the best clips that are going to
What
make the cut
equipment do
early
you
rather than
use?
you waiting till the last minute. And so many videos to go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What equipment do you use?
yeah. Which you said which app?
No, what equipment? Like, do you use camera, your phone?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So to be honest, in the very beginning, the earliest videos that actually started blowing up really weren't even with equipment. Like those ones were just me using my iPhone. This is actually an iPhone 13. All the videos
Mhm.
that I've taken are on my phone are from like an iPhone 13. So for me, I didn't get my first like like how we have like the light attachments that go on your phone with like the clipper. I didn't even get that until June. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I had that. Then now I have like a very big and I'll probably have to say, oh yeah, I have. It's a light from Amazon. It's and I have my own tripod, but it's a very, and that was my treat. That was like my gift to myself when I had hit 20K in October. So I hit 10K in May, hit 20K in October, organically. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, for sure, I'm gonna definitely have to do something nice for this. So I bought. The thing is, also when you do content, you also want to invest in your invest in your work. You can't, there should always be progress. You know what I mean? You always want to, and
Right.
also because if you're promoting somebody's business, you don't want to do it in a way where it's like I don't know, not necessarily sloppy because I mean we all grow, so I mean it's
Yeah.
progress, but you don't want to do it in a way where um it's not, for me. I'm very big on quality. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure
Yeah.
that if I'm going to do a video for somebody, it's going to be like the best of the best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
I got like a light, and I already had a try. I have two types of tripods. Have my light, my new light, very big light. It's a LED, very bright. I would say
Okay.
probably Amazon. Amazon, like they sell like a lot of amazing, not lighting or photography lights, but video recording lights. Very good
Right.
lights. Yes,
Okay.
very good lights. Amazon. I got everything from Amazon. Yeah, everything with all my tripods. Everything was from Amazon. Yeah,
Awesome. So
reasonably
now we
priced
can,
too. Yeah,
as we
yeah.
conclude the show, I know we could talk a whole lot more, but so ever grateful to have you on the show.
Yeah.
What affirmation
Thank
quotes,
you.
scripture, prayers that keep James going? Because life's still life. You still got to be able to put things through. But what keeps James going?
hmm Um, God, really, I thank God because without God, I wouldn't even have grown. Well, also my followers, because I would say really it's God, my followers, and the effect that I or like my work or the effect that I have on businesses because or like just different people who don't even follow me because a lot of people do engage in my content but don't actually follow me.
Yeah.
So I would say and like the views are there, they're public. So for me it was okay. So in terms of God, like I said, I'm a Christian. So with me, I personally don't believe I would even be where I am without God. Yeah, in terms
Right.
of content because there are some people who struggle, to grow their page or grow a community or grow a following,
Yeah.
but and are doing everything that they're supposed to do. They're even consistent, yet they're not really they're not growing. And that's another thing that I'll say. Don't I'll probably yeah, I can include that tip right now. I was gonna say if you ever do feel like discouraged about engagement or numbers, everything's in working progress. Like it'll happen. Like you're gonna as time goes on, you learn, okay, well next time I won't do this, or okay, well looking back at it, I didn't like how I did that. Maybe I won't do that next time.
Yeah.
So as time goes on, you learn what you probably should or shouldn't do. Instead of waiting to get to the good stuff 30 seconds into the video, get into the good stuff right away so you grasp, like the viewer's attention. You know what I mean? So you learn these different things very
Yeah.
well, not early on, but if I could really give some tips, I'd probably yeah, but yeah, so I would just say yeah, something like that. So seeing the effect that I had, that's what keeps me going. business owner testimonials. Business owners telling me, "Hey, yo, James, like this one amazing lady. She just told me recently. She was just like, thank you for coming in, and I had actually gave her my rate, and I had told her,
Yeah.
and she was a little, she was a little skeptical at first, but she was a little skeptical, but then come to find out, the video I think almost has, or I think it has. So initially, she was like, okay, well, I'll give you this much for 5,000, and I'll give you for 5,000 views, and I'll give you this much for 7,000 views. Come to find out, I think the video now has I think what almost I think it's 90,000 views.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah. So for me, and then she had just recently told me like the effect. And mind you, the video only had like what 3,000 likes, 3,000 shares. But
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, she literally told me that since COVID, the business had been struggling since
Yeah.
COVID. And when I did the video, like I think it was the end of it. Was it the? I think it was like the big, or like the middle of October. She had told me, she had said that a lot of customers are coming. Like we've seen like a boost in business, and specifically know that it's a boost in business because one of my friends who was tagging along with me for the content video had created this random name for this mocktail that they didn't really know what they wanted to call, and they specifically, like a big number of people specifically ordered that mocktail, so she knew that it was from that video. So yeah, like different things like that. And then like I think the business owner in Bowie, she had lines out the door, crazy. Like yeah, like in that
That's great.
bakery's been there since 2013. Yeah, so
Mhm.
like, and it's like I learned these different places. You build relationships, you meet new people. But yeah. So I would say things that keep me going are yeah, just being organized. God. Like I said, without God, I wouldn't have grown this much.
Wow.
So God for sure. And I'm very. I don't really like to brag. I'm not a big bragger. I don't like to brag because I don't
Yeah.
believe it's by my might or my luck that I had that following that I
Yeah.
have. I think really it's grace of God, really, because not
Amen.
everybody can have that. So yeah, and there's always
Of
room for
course.
everybody. Anybody can do it. You know what I mean? So
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, James, thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on Coffee with Joy. It's such a delight. I learned a whole lot.
Thank you.
I learned so much, extra about food content. So
Hmm.
please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy for you get to hear so many great things. And please make sure that you do follow James, as we'll have his information located at the bottom. Please, if you would like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow the QR codes that you see across the board, as well as please make sure that you reach out if you're into becoming a food content or foodie content. Please make sure that you look up James and others, and you get to see and hear all about the great things on how to get started, on how to maneuver, or just get into the influence world. So, as you always know, if it's a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, live life on purpose, and we'll talk to you soon.